I must say it was a bit shocking to hear a CNBC host came out and make a statement like this. Two statements, actually. I want to play this and then we'll check it out on the other side.
A growing list of companies is taking a stand-ish after last week's violence on Capitol Hill. Marriott, Best Buy, and a number of others are cutting off donations to lawmakers, specifically who tried to block the Electoral College results, while others, including Microsoft and Ford, are suspending contributions to both political parties. As one CEO told me, quote, "Corporate America is starting to understand that silence is complicity." This as two major banks distance themselves from the president, including Deutsche Bank, which says it will now refrain from any further business with Donald Trump. Joining us now to discuss, Andrew Ross Sorkin. He's co-anchor of CNBC's Squawk Box and founder of New York Times Dealbook. Andrew, corporate America does not like to weigh in on politics, certainly not January, first month of the year when they've got COVID to deal with. What's your take on what we saw in the last 24 hours?
It's an historic moment, but at the same time, it's a defensive moment. I don't think we should give these companies any more credit than suggesting that they are recognizing what has happened here. Some of them have funded sedition. That's what's happened. They've funded sedition. And the good news, if there is good news, is that they are acknowledging it and they are putting some of these funding efforts on pause. I think there's a big distinction between those who are singling out the leaders that supported this effort at sedition and those that didn't. The idea of pausing across the board to some degree is a cop-out because it effectively is injuring those that might be on the right side of things. Having said that, what I hope happens here more than anything is that companies see this as an opportunity to halt funding completely and forever, to make this campaign finance, corporate campaign finance, a thing of the past. It undermines the credibility of the companies. It undermines the credibility of the politicians who take the money. I think we can all agree that the public looks at this as a bribe on one side by the companies and a bribe on the other side by the politicians. It's illegal for U.S. companies to do this kind of thing in any foreign country. Why it's allowed here, I think, remains one of the great questions of all.
Now, here's the deal. Funding sedition. Some of these companies were funding sedition is what Sorkin said, and he's correct. And the question is, now they decided after this explosion, after this insurrection, after we had a bunch of unpatriotic traitors attempt to sack and maim and hurt many of these Congress people, many of these people in the Congress. Now suddenly they're not going to fund sedition. Why did they fund it in the first place? They gave these seditious lawyers or Congress people or politicians money because they knew that they would hold the undemocratic water for these corporations, and now they got caught, so they're pulling their monies out. Sorkin made another point. Remember, he said that, but why are they penalizing all sides? Why are they penalizing the side that didn't do anything wrong? It is not fair. It is, in fact, it is guaranteeing that when the breeze blows down or when the breeze calms down, that they may just go back and do the same thing and fund these politicians that are anti-democratic. But the last thing he said is, just maybe this will give the impetus to not have corporations donating monies to politicians. He said it's illegal elsewhere. We don't support it elsewhere. Why should we support it here under the tenets of money is speech? And somehow, if money is speech, we should have unlimited wherewithal to give these guys funding. Money is not speech, and we need to get that out of the way. Good job, Senor Sorkin. we spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.